One of my favorite TV shows is House. And I know he can be cruel and mean if you're aware of the show, but it's part of what makes him interesting. But what he does is instead of diagnosing, which is what other doctors do, he prognosticates. In other words, he gets ahead of where the disease or illness is going. It's an effort to outrun, outsmart, and beat that disease or that illness. Dr. House gets ahead of where a disease is going. In conversations, we can get ahead of where conversations are going. We can be, in essence, the Dr. Houses of conversations. Because you see, every conversation has a life to it. And what a conversational futurist does is they help a conversation evolve. They help dialogue move forward. They get ahead of where it's going. This has everything to do with relational intelligence, because sometimes we find ourselves in conversations and we stall out a dialogue, or we are what I call a conversational backtracker. Now, this is when we, restate something in a conversation that's already been said. So we kind of pull the conversation back, or maybe we say something that, is awkward or completely irrelevant to the moment, or it sort of stalls out the conversation. And it was funny because one time I asked a friend, how often do you think before you speak? In other words, how often do you formulate your thoughts before you actually say them? And he told me almost never. And when he told me that day, I thought, wow, this is sometimes what we do in the interactions in life. We don't think enough before we speak. And I think what conversational futurists do is they begin to formulate thoughts in their mind before they actually say them out loud. And with that skill, they're able to help someone else move forward in a conversation. So one way this plays out is, let's just say you're in a mentoring relationship where you're trying to mentor someone and they're telling you about some situation that happened in their life. Well, sometimes people want you just to affirm what they've said or want you just to hear them out. But what conversational futurists do is they start to read the emotional undertone of a conversation. They start to read what that person not only wants, but what that person really needs. And the conversational futurist can meet them in that moment. Because see, that's what Dr. House does. Dr. House gets ahead of a conversation and sees what the patient really needs. And I think conversational futurists, what they focus and zero in on is helping whatever moment it is. If it's a one-on-one conversation, if it's a conversation with a group, they try to help pull a conversation forward. That's what conversational futurists do.